If you have been thinking about selling a house, but wondering if you have missed a good, strong seller's market, you are at the right place. Because in today's episode, I'm going to go over the data from the month of August to help you understand what was going on in the real estate market. At the same time, help you gain a sense as of what direction the local market is heading to for the rest of 2025. So let's take a look at the data first. First, in August, 25 homes were listed and 20 pending, and 17 homes were sold. Out of the 17 homes, 9 were sold above their listing price, which means that the market was still very competitive. And 7 were sold below their asking price, and 1 at asking price. And if we break them down by housing price, house types, and 6 of them were townhouses and 11 of them were single-family homes. No condo was closed in August. So in West Windsor market, single-family homes continue to be the driver in the market. Let's take a look at the median sold price. Median sold price in August hit $926K. So that's almost a 10% increase compared to the median sold price in July. And this is very understandable because, like I mentioned earlier, out of the 17 homes that were sold in August, 11 of them were single-family homes, and 2/3 of the 11 homes were high-end homes with a sold price over $1 million. So understandably, the median sold price went up quite a bit. As far as the sold price to list price ratio is concerned, and for the house that were sold in August, they range between 98% to 103%. So this tells you it is important to work with a real estate professional who understand the local market very well so they can guide you properly. By the end of August, the inventory level set at 1.6 months of supply, down from 2.3 months in July. We have more inventory for buyers. However, by the end of August, choices became tight again. So if we only look at the numbers on a standalone basis, probably they don't make a whole lot of sense. Let's take a look at the side-by-side comparison to help you understand how far this market has come to. First, let's do a comparison between July versus August of this year. From the data we can see in August, we didn't have as many listing, pending, or sold units. However, the days on the market was reduced by 4 days compared to July. And this is understandable because remember, West Windsor was one of the top school districts. So there were families who were trying to get settled into the school district before the school starts at the beginning of September. So during July and August, we did sense a sense of urgency in the local market. Next is a year over year. So between this August and the last August, and we see that, we didn't have as many listings in this August. And one of the trends that we've noticed, and that is traditionally in West Windsor, say families with several kids, as soon as their last kid is going to graduate from the high school in June, and they usually like to put their house on the market early spring, so that once their last child graduates from the school district, they are going to sell the house and move to another area, lower property tax and a less expensive area. Nowadays, because we have a very restricted inventory, at the same time, home prices have gone up so much, it doesn't make, even though people can sell their current house for a good price, they don't necessarily be able to afford the next house, or economic-wise, it doesn't make any sense. So many people, even though their kids graduated from the school district, however, the family continue hold on to the house for the time being. And that explains, that's one of the reasons why we have less inventory. We have less houses on the market right now. Another reason is that people did refi during those years when the mortgage rates was between 2 and 3. So unless they see any house that is extremely desirable for them or check most of the boxes of their checklist. Otherwise, they are not going to move. And that also explains why we have less listings in the local market. And if when there's less listing, and obviously there will be less home sales and less sold units. So we only had 17 houses sold in August. However, compared to 1 year ago, the days on the market doubled. That's understandable too, because house prices are more expensive. And it feels like buyers are hiding behind bushes and waiting for the right house to show up. And then so if the home has a good location and a moving condition and priced correctly, and it will still attract attention immediately and get multiple offers. So in that sense, you didn't miss the good seller's market. And when you are thinking about selling, and look around to see if your house fits that kind of criteria, if the condition of your house is what the buyers are looking for, because buyers are willing to pay up for the right house. Otherwise, they will negotiate. And the last comparison is between this August versus the August back in 2019. 2019 was the quote-unquote the last normal year and before the pandemic started. And so like as far as the new listing is concerned, we have a similar number of new listings, and pending we have less, and for sold unit we have even much less. So that was because that's the power of affordability, because compared to 6 years ago, and then in terms of a medium list price and a medium sold price, it all have gone up so much. So it is very understandable that we don't sell as many houses like we did before, right? So people can no longer afford that. But on the flip side, it tells you the beauty of home ownership. For those homeowners who owned all these homes and throughout these years, they didn't do anything special. They just carry on their lives. And then because of the market condition changes, to enjoy the price appreciation. So on average, price went up by almost 45%. Here's a few data to show you not only in West Windsor, but across New Jersey, and home values continue to go up. As a result of such, monthly mortgage payment also gone up. Again, an affordability issue. So this graph is very simple, but it tells you a very strong message. And this is one of my favorite graphs. That is telling you that if you own a home for a long period of time, and eventually you will be able to enjoy the price appreciation, or home ownership is one of the steady way to help you build your equity. There might be corrections here and there, but long-term speaking, the home price is always on an upward trend. So that's the review of August data. And basically, homes are still selling. And if you check all the boxes, like if your home has a good location, good condition, and you're willing to price it according to the current market condition, then you will still be able to get it sold fairly quickly for a very strong result. In general, the West Windsor market is in a healthy market and a somewhat competitive market condition. As far as the rest of the year is concerned, it depends. It depends on the job situation, and also depends on the mortgage rate situation. If the mortgage rate cut is small, then probably the current condition is going to continue throughout the rest of the year. However, if the mortgage rate got reduced for a fairly large amount, then that's going to trigger both buyers and sellers come to the market. And that's going to create additional competition, even in the cooler season. And we're going to watch the market closely and keep you updated. And if you have been thinking about selling but afraid of making any mistakes, you might want to check out my other video that talks about mistakes that people need to be aware of and try to avoid when they are thinking about selling. So I will put the link below. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And if you are curious about the current value of your property, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to prepare a customized equity analysis report to help you. And I hope this helps. Until next time, take care.